The following podcast contains mature subject matter, adult themes, and may also contain profanity. You have been warned.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Absurd, a podcast about the absurd. We look at many things. We look at things throughout history. We look at mysteries and just general strange goings-on. Looking through the news and online and anything that strikes us as absurdly funny, absurdly freaky, and sometimes frightening.
Wow. That was frightening.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's Mel.
Yeah.
Speaking of frightening.
Hey, I'm a delight.
Yeah. I don't really have a comeback for
You
that.
say yes, Mel.
Oh
you
yeah,
are.
forgot. Are you Turkish?
No.
Because then you'd be Turkish delight. You ever had Turkish delight?
I love Turkish delight.
Me too. But remember, it's not covered in chocolate.
I know, but
Just powdered sugar.
yes.
But do you like a Big Turk bar?
I love Big Turk.
They are pretty good.
It's a controversial subject because many people don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Who cares what they think?
It's so
'Cause they
good.
don't have to eat them if they don't want to.
No.
Do you like eat more? Ooh,
No.
me like. I went to Dollarama last night.
Did you know?
I went to the one before I went out to watch a game because I needed some chips. And I looked for the Dollarama chocolate bar equivalent of Three Musketeers. Because apparently there is one. I couldn't find it.
No?
No. No. And I even researched it ahead of time because I was going to get you one as a treat. Because you
Yes.
said you really like Three Musketeers.
I love Three
But I can't.
Musketeers.
Do you like Twix?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay. Because last week I bought 2 of their Twix. And then I was going to give you one, but I'm like, no, I don't think she likes Twix. So I just ate it.
So I just ate it.
Like I did it for you. And I thought about you, as I ate it.
And I wasn't good enough to have like a real Three Musketeers bar.
I don't know that I saw them there. Because I think I looked. I didn't see
I'm
any.
seeing too many holes in this story.
Well, I don't really think there's any holes in the
Yeah.
story. It's solid.
Moral of the story is I do not have a chocolate bar.
No, you don't. No. Although I could give you a Meteor. I got a Meteor in my fridge.
Meteor's
No, what's the one that's like Snickers? Meteor is like Mars.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I always called Jupiter.
Uh,
It's a red package. Anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, Dollarama, which is a Canadian dollar store chain, which we both love, they have really good deals on chocolate bars.
yeah.
They're cheap. Like the Kit Kat equivalent is 3 for $1.25
For fun.
for fun. I don't even want to know what's in it.
We don't ask these questions.
No,
We don't eat them for health reasons.
absolutely not. No, for moral reasons, like morality reasons.
Right,
No,
yeah.
it's not even what I mean. I mean for morale reasons.
Uh-huh.
My God. So, you were at the office today.
I was at the office today.
Mel brought me a butter tart.
I sure did.
You didn't find it in a hallway or
Well,
sitting
you
in
know
a
what?
bathroom
I
or
guess we'll
something.
never know.
Well, yeah, we will.
Wow.
Well, because if I get sick,
If you get bumpy.
I don't. No, that's not gonna happen. Please don't let it happen. Yeah, you had a good day, though.
Yeah, it was all right.
Good,
Yeah.
exciting hockey game last night.
It was very
Oh
exciting.
yeah. I
Very
want to put
exciting.
this out there that I don't remember what his first name is. Probably doesn't have one. Bennett for Florida Panthers needs to be
Probably
run over,
doesn't have one.
run over by a combine.
Yeah.
POS. Anyway, I hope he gets run through the boards. Yeah. Anything exciting?
I was
Anything-
in Goderich this past weekend.
Right. I forgot. Where's my ice cream cone?
Well, it's there.
Where?
That Sky Ranch. You should just go get it.
God. Did you get ice cream there?
I sure did.
What kind did you get?
Banana.
Yeah, that's a good choice. The soft one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Is that all you got there?
That's it.
Yeah.
And it was on my way home. I just stopped in to grab one.
I know. You sent me a picture, eh?
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a good idea for a video.
Yeah.
And just say, by the way, Rod, I'm eating an ice cream cone. You don't get one, or something like that. You know, like whatever. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going to that Sky Ranch since I was a kid. It's different people who work there now. Because they'd be older. But really good burgers and fries and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude.
Looked like it. I
Ugh.
saw some of the orders coming out. It looked really good.
Because it's what you want. It's
Yeah.
greasy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who's kidding here?
Yeah. Went down to what's it called? The peach. The beach pub
Oh, at the, yeah.
right down on the
As a
boardwalk.
deck outside?
Yes.
Yeah. I was there
We
last
went down
summer.
there for their amazing fries that they have there.
Do they?
Pomme de frites.
Yeah. That's
they're
fries.
So good. But that's what they call them.
Okay.
And they just have really good spices on them and
Yeah.
Asiago cheese.
I thought you were going to say Ozzy Osbourne cheese. But I don't want any part of that.
No.
Tastes a bit
Laced with
batty.
crack.
And I don't think he's a crackhead. Probably did a lot of blow in the day.
Yeah.
Which I know he did.
But we were sitting there just, enjoying our beers and chatting.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple sitting in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
A little
Chubby?
worse for wear looking.
What does that mean? That they got attacked?
Kind of trashy looking.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's
Okay.
just put it out there.
Okay.
And so they're finishing up and they were having their coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady there was putting cream in her coffee and she's looking around for something to stir it with. You could tell.
Mm.
Well, there was no spoon around or anything. So she decided that the next best thing was to take her glasses off and use the arm of her glasses to stir up her coffee.
That's interesting. I've never thought of that.
We just look at each other like, what are we watching right now? I can't say I've ever seen this before.
How old a couple would they have been?
Oh, late 50s.
It's like your age.
Early 60s.
No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
just like it.
I'm good.
Uh-huh.
Well, see, I have used like a lighter. Like if I mixed back in the days when I was a smoker and I was mixing up like, a Ryan Coke or Ryan Ginger, I was out partying, use my lighter to stir it.
Ew.
What do you mean, ew?
That's disgusting.
Why? I'm the only one drinking it.
It doesn't matter. It's kind of gross.
No.
I've seen people use their finger or something to
Oh,
stir
that's
it
not
up.
gross at
No,
all.
I'm saying that's gross.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, not that she'd stick her finger in coffee, but that one just kind of grossed me out because I was like, oh my gosh. I saw lots of peculiar things in Goderich this weekend.
Like what else?
Just around the corner from where my friend Sharon lives. Hi, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon. I don't know you, but hey.
There was two ladies sitting out on their front porch of their house on a couch. Okay, seems fine.
Yeah.
But the couch was turned the opposite direction, so they're just staring at the house. And I was like, what?
That's interesting.
It took a couple. It did a couple takes to look, and I'm like, what am I actually looking at? So I asked my friend Sharon about it. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you saw that." She said, "Because I wonder that myself. I see them out there all the time."
Did you go ask them why?
No, I should have.
Oh, I would have.
I'm like, why do you guys sit here and stare at the house?
Yeah, like, do your thing. Like, but just out of
Hey.
curiosity.
Yeah,
Wow. Maybe they were high.
maybe.
Were they, how old were they?
I don't know, middle-aged women.
Right.
Their kids, they'd send their kids off to school,
Yeah.
and then they'd sit out on the couch.
How do you know? It was a weekend. There's no school.
No, this is what my friend Sharon told me.
Oh.
That this is just a regular occurrence.
Oh. But so do they always have it facing?
Yes. Yeah. And it's not like you're looking in through a window to see the TV or something. You're just looking at siding.
So it's literally like the looking at the wall of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's curious.
It's weird.
Okay, well, when you go up again, and I
Yeah.
assume you will.
Yeah. You want me to stop and ask them?
I absolutely do. Be nice, as I've seen you be nice.
So I'm here from the absurd Rod and Mel News. Nudes.
Excuse me? Yeah. I'm not sure that'll bring our numbers up. Might go the other way. Wow, where's your head at? My God. Nice Freudian slip. Yeah, but no, I do. I want you to say, hey, like, not feel free to tell me to go away or bugger off, but I'm genuinely curious, judgment free.
Yeah.
Why are you guys sitting on the couch facing the wall?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I would ask. Do they look mean?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I didn't get close enough to really tell. But...
Right. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. You need to do that. I'm going to remind. I will. I'm going to remind you.
Okay.
I have a bit of business.
All right.
I want to take care of. Did I do anything interesting this weekend? Oh, I went to a Turkish restaurant. My first ever time having Turkish food.
Very cool.
You have no idea how fantastic it was.
Yeah?
Oh, my God, man. Remember where Filthy McNasty's was? Waterloo, Westmount.
Oh, yeah, just down from my office there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in there.
Okay.
Oh, God. Cannot recommend strongly enough. There is no liquor license, though.
That's fine.
Because they're Muslim types.
Right.
But you know what? I was asked to write a review about them.
Yeah.
And I sang the praises, told them, I sent the pictures I took of our food. That's how I roll.
Cool.
And then they're like, I'm like, something to the effect of, the only thing I found missing is it would be very nice to have an alcoholic drink with the meal. I said, I understand that your reason for doing so probably are owing to religion, which I understand. But I'm just putting it out there as a suggestion.
Yeah.
That's it. I said, regardless, I will be back. I have other dishes I want to try.
Yeah.
I'm hungry just thinking about it. I wish I was eating it right now. Like, literally. Aside from that, I have an update to a comment I made. I think it was last week. We were talking about riding horses. And we both done it, but it's kind of scary. Mm-hmm. And then I said something about how you would make a better donkey.
Yes.
Than a horse. And then I went even further off on a tangent and talking about how donkeys are used as guard animals for herds.
Right.
And you weren't entirely convinced at first. But during that, I made a comment about I think they usually have a couple of donkeys to guard a herd. Well, that is incorrect. Got a message from Kim, who is actually my first cousin. She lives up near the Minnesota border on the happy side, so in Ontario. About 17-hour drive from here. Mm-hmm. And that's still in the same province, by the way, for you people who aren't hip to geography. She told me, said, fact about donkeys. They are used as guard animals on beef herds in Canada. Not sure how many in this area, but a neighbor of ours had one for years. It is recommended to only have one donkey with the herd. If there are two, they get lazy and expect the other one to take care of the predator. I meant it. I relate even more to donkeys awesome. Now than I thought I did before. They're good people, donkeys.
I love donkeys.
Me too. You ever seen a real donkey?
Well, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they have them up at that goat thing?
No.
That's a shame.
They do not.
Oh, that's too bad. I like their sound they make.
What sound do they make?
Yo! I don't know, something like that. That was without rehearsal, dude.
Wow.
I know. I can't really. I'm not a donkey, so I can't really do a sound like it.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah, moving along. Hey, do you have a story for us?
I do.
Do you?
This story was actually sent. Oh my goodness, words are hard today.
Apparently.
It was sent to me by my friend Daniel.
Is he your brother? Like the Elton John song?
What?
Daniel, my brother.
No.
Where's Daniel from?
Daniel's from here.
What do you mean here? Like this building?
He lives in Woodstock now.
Oh, that's not here. But yeah, I get it. Okay. It's cool.
But anyways.
What does Daniel have to say?
Daniel sent me this story, and I had to go check it out. It was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. It's about someone who, well, you know what? I'm just going to read it, and you'll find out.
Cool, man. I like it.
All right. Any hopeless romantic would agree that every love story is unique. No matter where you met or how long you've been together, every relationship is special, even if you don't understand it. A man called Charles Palabino struggles daily with his relationship since people don't seem to understand it.
Is he blonde?
Blonde?
Yeah, Charles.
No.
With that last name, I assumed he would be.
No.
He's not a Palomino.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Charles is 36 years old. He was born and raised in Beaver Creek, Wisconsin. He found love in high school, and when he felt like a lone wolf, and no one wanted to be his friend. Juniper and Charles started their relationship the day they met in the school library, after she reached out for the same book he needed for his English assignment.
Oh.
They were the perfect couple. The only problem was Juniper was Charles's imaginary friend. Since the moment they met, Charles never felt alone. Instead, he learned to love his life and see beauty in all things. They've been married for 12 years, and during that time, Charles spent over $165,000 in the relationship.
What?
They have a common dynamic. They share the house chores and spend most of their time together on walks or playing board games. Juniper prefers to do the cleaning, while Charles does most of the cooking. Though she volunteers on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they still text each other when they are apart. They love to have emoji battles, so Charles doesn't feel lonely. Meanwhile, when they are out in public, they receive a lot of looks, but he doesn't care. Charles and Juniper love to go on dates. They always go to the same restaurant. The manager of the place, Rafa, said that Charles goes 3 times a week and orders 2 entrees. Yet when asked if he believed Juniper was real, he had no comment. Charles says he is aware that most people don't acknowledge his marriage with Juniper as something real, but hopes that soon enough everyone realizes that not all relationships look the same and they are in love. He has requested their marriage license over 48 times, but always gets rejected. Charles added that he believes there's a lot of change left to do in the country until they finally let them legalize their marriage. But he said, "I know we are not married in the eyes of the law, but we don't care. Juniper's my life." His neighbor and friend Tyler Regan said Charles is a good guy. He could put himself out there. He could legitimately find himself a girlfriend. Tyler tries to talk Charles out of it, telling him he's shutting himself off from an actual romantic opportunities. However, Charles tells him he's happy with Juniper. All of these things sound strange, and you feel like it's impossible. But don't worry, because you're right. All this story was made up by Tyler Regan, Charles's non-imaginary friend, a comedy content creator known for his skits and pranks. Tyler posted the video as a parody of an episode of TLC's My Strange Addiction, where people with odd likes were interviewed and followed to understand why they had certain addictions. So this video has got tons and tons of views, and people believed him. He put it out there like it was an actual, real, legit story.
So Charles doesn't, in fact, have an imaginary lover named Juniper.
He does not.
That's a bummer. Imaginary lover.
But yes. So yeah, this dude, when he got like a lot of fame from this video, this was a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
And people were actually believing him, but it was just all a big parody.
So Charles was in on it too, obviously.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Played it on it and acted like this whole thing was real, and I watched the video. It looks legit. Like, it looks like something you would see on My Strange Addiction, which they do not have that show anymore.
Yeah, I vaguely remember hearing. I don't think I ever watched it. I
did.
think so.
I did, because I found it fascinating.
Yeah.
But they were being accused of having stories like this that weren't true, but just to get for entertainment value, right? So you never really knew what was actually true.
Is TLC still a channel?
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do they still carry the same kind of stuff?
It's mostly like, I want to say it right, but it's like Little People. There's one called, I forget what it's called now.
Kate plus 8.
That kind of stuff, but not, because that's not on there anymore. But
Here comes Honey Boo Boo.
Hey, oh my God, you remember that?
Yes.
Awful show.
I was actually reading about it the other night.
Oh, really?
The mother is like beyond horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel bad for the girl. Well, they're not girls anymore.
No, they
like
would
not
be
little
like
kids.
adults now, I'd say.
Yeah. I felt bad for them because they were really exploited.
They sure were.
I used to also watch the Hoarding Show on there too. I think that was on
Love
there.
the Hoarding Show. That is still on.
Yeah.
It's still on. I love that. If I happen to catch it, which I don't watch live TV too much, but
Yeah.
if I do see it, yeah, it's interesting.
I really hated the one that was called Breaking Amish.
Breaking Amish?
Such a lie. Such a total lie. She was supposedly a young woman who is from the Amish community.
Yeah.
And they brought her out into the world, and it showed her like pole dancing. Give me a break.
Yeah, sure.
Like, no, it was just too. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was rather appalling.
It kind of is.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
she was Amish,
Yeah.
but she had left like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, oh my God, there's a world that doesn't have buggies in it.
Right. Because you're not just going to go to the Amish community and pluck someone out and be like, hey, do you want to
Right.
be on TV?
Right, and then put them into a bar and they instantly know how to pole dance.
Yeah.
Right, and they're not even let alone know how, that they're
Right.
going to want to.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Most women wouldn't do it.
No.
Let alone growing up in an Amish
No.
kind of mentality.
No.
God. Remember when TLC was actually the Learning Channel and it
Yeah.
had good
It did.
documentary type
Yep.
stuff? Now I can't
Now
remember
it's
what
trash.
it stands for. The Leisure Channel or some such bullshit.
Does it?
I don't remember what it stands for.
I don't know.
But it's
I do enjoy that channel sometimes, but it is a lot of, it's all reality. All of
it's
it.
like History Channel used to be awesome. Now it's all just crap. It's all like pseudo history.
Yeah.
Watch this. Watch what I'm going to do to myself. And crap like Legend of Oak Island. There is no money buried in Oak Island. Bring it at me. Come on. Tell me I'm wrong. Do you know that story?
I've seen some of it on the History
I mean, there
Channel.
is such a thing as Oak Island.
Yep.
And there was the pit that they discovered, but they've never found anything. You know, and it's interesting people who believe like, oh yeah, they found this stuff. It's probably from Knights Templar. Oh really? They crossed the Atlantic before, Columbus did, and they were able to dig this hole in the ground that's hundreds of feet deep and bury something there.
Yeah.
But then not tell anybody. Shut up. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway.
That's my rant about Oak Island. I might cut all that actually because I might get some abuse. Well, you never.
We like abuse.
Maybe you do. Well, I know you do. Ooh. No, just kidding. By the way, how do you know Daniel?
I used to work with Daniel at RIM.
Ah, gotcha. For other people who don't know, that's BlackBerry. Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, awesome for Daniel sending that in. That was cool. Yeah. I like it. By the way, did you ever have an imaginary friend?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. Your kids ever?
No.
Yeah. I know it's not uncommon.
No, it's not.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It probably helps a little bit on socialization even in ways.
Yeah, probably.
Because there's no risk of offending, but, I don't know. Interesting thing. I wonder what my imaginary friend would look like. I wonder how tall she'd be.
It's okay. Well, we'll leave that there.
All right.
What you got?
I have a story. This is from Montreal.
Okay.
Which is in our home country of Canada. You ever been to Montreal?
I have.
It's a fun city.
It is.
I do like
Montreal.
Montreal. Yes. All right. So, but anyway, to Montreal, and this is recent. Like now, this is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, man. 2 Montreal men have pleaded guilty to committing an indignity to a body after admitting they left the remains of an Indigenous woman on the couch in their home for 6 months.
What?
Prosecutor Simon Lapierre confirmed that brothers Nicodemo and Francesco Sensalone admitted guilt this week in the death of Alice Tukiapik. Inuit names are a bugger, man. They need more vowels and less Ks. A statement of facts read in court says the 41-year-old's family reported her missing in September 2023 in the Inuit village of Kangekwasi-Uchuak
Sure.
after not being able to reach her for several months in Montreal, where she had been living. Montreal police went to the address where she had reportedly been staying and met Nicodemo Sansalone, who told them that she had died 6 months prior.
Okay.
She is here on the couch. She is lying on the couch for the last 6 months, he told the officers, according to the document. Upon entering the home, the officers noted a strong smell. Yeah, I'm not even a little surprised. Inside the living room, they noticed a human silhouette on the couch covered by a blanket with the feet sticking out. It's almost comical, but it's so morbid.
Yeah.
Underneath the blanket, the officers found the corpse of Tukiyapik, I like that, who was in a mummified state.
Oh.
Because she would have been under a blanket, would have been warm and humid. That's why she would have mummified. The statement of facts say Francesco Sansalone was in a relationship with Tukiyapik, and the two lived off and on with Nicodemo Sansalone. Francesco, it's fun to say with the roll.
I know.
Francesco testified that his girlfriend had become weak and was bleeding, but didn't want to see a doctor or go to hospital, even though he encouraged her to do so. After she died, around February 12th, he put a flower on her chest and laid her on the couch. The statement says Francesco didn't call 911 after his partner died because he was afraid of her family. Instead, the brothers left her on the couch for a month, using a fragrance spray to try to keep the odor at bay. Hey, we need more Febreze. Yeah, get it by the case. Members of Tukiyapik's family, meanwhile, had been trying to reach her and had visited the home several times but weren't let in. He is sorry and he wishes to change things,
He's sorry.
reads the statement in reference to Francesco. He says that he is already dead inside and that he died at the same time as Tukiyapik. Well, that's not really true, is it?
Yeah.
A pathologist could not determine the woman's cause of death, but the autopsy did not show evidence of fracture or significant traumatic injuries. Nicodemo Sansalone was arrested the day Tukiyapik's body was found. Francesco, who had left the home a few weeks before the discovery, was arrested the following month. The men returned to court May 9th for sentencing. That's this Friday. I'd be watching. I'd be watching to see what happens. So they didn't kill her. It's almost a foregone conclusion they didn't.
Right.
They didn't cause her death. Well, as somebody, and I got this story off Reddit, as somebody pointed out, these are not my points, but they're good points. The kinds of people who hide bodies of people they didn't murder generally fall into three groups. 1. They have outstanding warrants and don't want to be arrested after the police get there. 2. The deceased is getting government benefits and the person hiding the body is scamming the government. 3. The person is mentally ill or has dementia and doesn't understand what is going on. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's one of the first two. Right? How would you... Have you ever smelled a decomposing human body?
I don't know if I have.
You'd know.
Yeah.
Assuming you knew that was what the smell was.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I'm assuming I haven't, but
I have years ago in Elmira, when my friends lived downtown in an apartment above one of the stores,
yeah.
and we went over there Saturday afternoon to play some poker. It was hot, and we were like 20. You know what I mean? So keeping up the appearances of their place wasn't first and foremost on their minds.
Right.
So we went in and there was a stench, and I'm like, Jesus, like, clean out your fridge. You know what I mean? I can tell you what it smells like if you like.
Sure.
Okay, I'll give you a minute. Because what it was the old guy who lived in the apartment next door had passed away.
Okay.
But it was hot and nobody knew he was there, and he swelled up and burst.
Oh, really?
Really.
Oh, ew.
Now, what it smells like is super pungent, spicy smelling summer sausage. That's exactly,
Okay.
if I smell that smell again, I will know in a heartbeat that
Oh,
that's
yeah?
what it is.
Okay.
Yep, without hesitation. Because, I mean, smells are a big memory trigger, right?
Yeah.
And it's in my head. Like, it lives there rent free. It will for the rest of my days. I will never forget that smell. But I didn't find out that's what the smell was until days later.
Right.
So we were sitting there playing poker all afternoon, breathing in this dude's fumes.
Oh,
So
gross.
yeah, it was really gross. But anyway, so yeah, I titled that story "Couch Potato."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to just leave her on the couch. Like, where do they sit, for one?
Well, they might have chairs,
They
but
just sit around
there's got
a
to be
dead
some
body?
reason.
Like, it's just a weird, yeah.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, it's disgusting at every possible level.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go away from that creepy, disgusting thing.
Okay.
You got a story?
Yeah.
You got something for us?
Yeah. Speaking of disgusting,
Yeah.
let's talk about syphilis.
Oh God. I had a dog named Syphilis. No, it's not true.
No, it's
I
not.
didn't. It's not.
You're such a liar.
I am lying.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In the 1600s, a syphilis epidemic swept across Europe. Some 150 years after the Black Death had killed many millions on the same continent. But the Great Pox, what we now know as syphilis, evolved into a very different kind of plague. When syphilis first arrived in Europe, researchers believed it was initially more severe and acute illness. It also produced a very wide range of symptoms, many of which were easily mistaken for other diseases. As a result, syphilis was referred to as the Great Imitator. A great wrestling name.
Yeah.
Typically, a few weeks after sexual contact with an infected individual, painless ulcers would appear.
Ew.
Painless or not, ulcers just sounds
Doesn't sound awesome.
Sometimes just one, and usually on the genitals.
Rib for her pleasure.
They could pass unnoticed, and either way, they soon disappeared as the disease entered a period of dormancy, but not for long. In the secondary stage, a variety of symptoms could arise. Most commonly, these were rashes on one or more areas of the body, but they could include flu-like fatigue, headaches, and swollen glands. More distressingly, pustules would develop on the skin, which oozed a foul-smelling discharge.
Grim.
Generally, these symptoms would gradually disappear, and an individual might even believe themselves cured. Sadly, they would be wrong.
Yes.
The disease would lay dormant in the body for years, even decades, before it reappeared. After this latent stage, the final stage was truly horrific. Again, it could manifest itself in a number of ways as the individual's skin, bones, and internal organs face severe and permanent damage.
Ugh.
While some succumbed to heart failure, others developed grotesque tumor-like growths known as gummas.
Oh.
Or gummas?
I'm not sure.
They often appeared on the face as bone and skin began to rot and disintegrate.
Gross.
If the nasal cartilage collapsed, the sufferer could appear flat-faced and lacking a nose.
Whoa.
So alarming could be the results that such individuals were often ostracized from society. We're just going to leave that. In a significant minority of cases, the greatest impacts of the stage could be on the brain and nervous systems.
Yes.
The so-called madhouses or asylums of the time contained many aging syphilitic, often blind, with their minds and personalities destroyed by the illness.
Yes.
Another side effect was sores and patchy hair loss. As you know, a good hairline was the mark of a well-bred man in the 17th century. Wigs were commonly used to cover up hair loss, but their use did not become widespread until two kings started to lose their hair. King Louis XIV of France experienced hair loss at an early age of 17, and he hired 48 wig makers to help combat his thinning locks.
Jeez.
His English cousin, King Charles II, began wearing wigs a few years later when his hair began to prematurely gray, both conditions from having syphilis. A fashion was also born, though, as everyone started wearing wigs, and the trend trickled down to the merchant class. As wigs became more popular, they became a status symbol for people to flaunt their wealth. An everyday wig cost 25 shillings, a week's worth of wages for the common Londoner. The bigger the wig, the better. This is where the term bigwig comes from. When British nobles would spend upwards of 800 shillings on wigs.
Bloody hell.
In 1700, 800 shillings was approximately about $50 today, which when calculated for inflation comes to about around 10,000 in today's currency.
Sheesh.
Just to cover up your syphilis.
Yeah.
So every time I see those pictures now, I'm going to think of they have syphilis.
Well, a lot of them also had lice.
Yes, that was another part that I read too. It was
They
lice.
also shaved their head because there's no other way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then they would wear a wig. For the same reason they would wear a wig.
Yeah.
Right? To show, man, this is how cool I am.
Uh-huh.
God. I bet you it was hot wearing a wig.
Oh.
Syphilis is a bastard. Like,
apparently. Like, I make jokes sometimes, like, oh, syphilis.
Yeah. When I've made the joke, like, people we can have this or that. I'm like, well, it's like choosing between syphilis and gonorrhea.
Yeah.
It's not much of a choice. But, because now we have antibiotics.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you got to remember, everybody, like, prior to antibiotics, people...
Bad state, man.
Yeah, you got an infection, you're dead.
Yeah.
Almost, I shouldn't say that. It wasn't a given, but almost certainly.
Yeah.
Because you had no way to defeat it.
Yeah. And they throw you in a madhouse because they thought you were gone crazy.
Well, but it also would impact your mental state.
Sure.
Syphilis.
Like, I saw some of the pictures, and like I have to admit, I didn't know that syphilis was like that.
Oh yeah.
Or back in the day. Apparently, it's evolved over time, but still, like, what it could do to you, I had no idea.
And a lot of historical figures who behaved strangely or madly, if you will, are thought to have been sufferers from syphilis. Like Napoleon is thought to be, I believe.
Right.
There's a lot of speculation that Hitler had syphilis. Now, I'm not suggesting, therefore that's why he did the stuff. Like,
right. That's a bit extreme.
Well, there's rarely ever one reason for things.
No.
Certainly anything that complex.
Yeah.
But no, it was massive. And what is the, is it syphilis? No, maybe it's like herpes. But one of them is, like, if you're a woman and you have it and you give birth, the child, while being born, can become blind.
Oh, yeah.
By passing through, if you will, the infected part of the vagine.
Right.
I can't remember. I don't know. I don't think that's syphilis.
I'm not sure.
But it's one of the horrible things.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea it was that bad, and that's kind of where wigs came from.
I did not know that about bigwig either.
Yeah.
I like that. I might get a wig. Yeah, good story, man. I like it. Hey, have you ever been on an airplane?
Yes.
Have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have not.
Okay. You should be okay. Some of you may remember this. We're actually going back to 1988. What were you? You weren't even born yet, were you?
I wish.
Yeah, right. I can tell you exactly how old she was. She was 10 years and 3 months. Mm-hmm. This is April 28th.
Okay.
So, anyway, April 28th, 1988, a seemingly routine 35-minute flight from Hilo to Honolulu, those are both cities in the Hawaiian Islands, turns into terror when an 18-foot-long section of the upper fuselage suddenly tears off Aloha Airlines Flight 243. Wait till you see a picture of this, man. I remember this on the news.
Yeah.
The explosive decompression and roof loss swept flight attendant Clarabelle Lansing off the Boeing 737, sent freezing winds of hurricane force through the cabin, and left passengers in the first 5 rows of the plane completely exposed to the sky. Miraculously, Captain Robert Schornsteimer, it's a good German name, isn't it? Landed the plane in Maui with no further deaths. The bizarre incident happened about 20 minutes into the flight from Hilo International Airport to Honolulu at 24,000 feet with 95 passengers and crew on board. The 300-mile-per-hour wind was so noisy that the pilots had difficulty communicating in the cockpit, and flight attendants couldn't get into the cockpit to see if they were even alive. Passengers under the missing roof had no access to oxygen tubing and became incapacitated by hypoxia, that's shortage of oxygen. Passenger William Flanagan, traveling on an anniversary trip to Hawaii with his wife, told the Washington Post that Flight Attendant Lansing was just announcing last call before descent when a gaping hole opened explosively in the roof.
Jeez.
She was just handing my wife a drink, he said, and then whoosh, she was gone. Their hands just touched when it happened. Captain Schornsteimer, I like that name. Did I say that already? Saying it again. Began an emergency descent into Kahului Airport on Maui, flying the crippled jet over mountains to get there. Passengers later interviewed felt certain they would die, but the captain successfully made the landing after flying 13 terrifying minutes in the damaged aircraft. There were wires hanging all around, wrapped around me, said Flanagan. I remember yelling, "I'm being electrocuted." I really thought I was being burned alive. His wife, Joy, badly injured by flying metal debris and flailing wires, was one of the 60-some passengers treated at Maui's Memorial Hospital after the landing. This is one of the most remarkable flying events in history. No airplane has ever landed with this amount of damage, Greg Feith, air crash investigator, said in an interview on the TV series Air Disasters. The only thing that was holding the forward section cockpit to the rest of the fuselage were the floor beams. Basically, they were hanging by a thread. A National Transportation Safety Board investigation determined that the airline's maintenance crew did not detect significant disbanding and fatigue damage on the plane's skin lap splice. I have no idea what that means. As a result of the crash, Congress passes the Aviation Research Act, which increased FAA oversight. Just for the record, that has since been cut by current President Trump. I'm going to show you right now a pic of this plane.
Okay. Holy crap. Wow.
I know. Incredible that it landed.
Smokes. And sorry, how many people died? Or
Only the one.
Only one?
The
one that got sucked out?
You just gave me a wonderful segue.
Oh, okay.
Because this is a scientific mistake. You don't get sucked out in such a situation. You get blown out.
Okay.
And let's not get off topic here. I know we're broaching on subject matter here. But no, because it's higher pressure inside the plane than it is outside.
Right.
So as soon as that happens, the air escaping from the airplane pushes you out the opening. You don't get sucked out. Just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
But yeah, she passed and they never found her. I mean, it was over the ocean at 24,000 feet.
Yeah.
With any luck, she died instantly. Like, as, from, I don't know, something resulting from rapid decompression.
Right.
And wasn't alive when she hit the water. That would suck.
Ugh.
But yeah, like, wait till you guys see the picture, because I will obviously do an infographic of this.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Very cool.
Yeah, very
not
uncool
cool,
in a cool
but,
kind of way. But good
it's
work
cool
on the
that
pilots.
they landed it and,
Damn
lived
right.
to tell about it.
Yeah. I'm going to guess the plane wasn't fixable after that.
Probably not. Probably not.
No, man, no. So, yeah, aloha. Aloha.
Aloha indeed.
And goodbye. That also means hello, too, eh?
Yes.
Hello and goodbye.
Yeah.
Aloha, Mr. Hand. There, I got my Fast Times reference in there. You have to watch that movie.
Okay.
You're lame for not having seen
lame.
it. You're lamer. Yeah, so we're not going to Piper's tonight, people.
No.
We're not doing it.
Not tonight.
No, she's got stuff to do. I'm ravenously hungry.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to make a burger.
All right.
Mm-hmm. You heard me.
I heard you.
And, yeah, I might watch some hockey.
Who's playing tonight? Caps and...
Carolina.
Carolina.
Is that who's playing? Yes, you are correct. Carolina and Washington play, but also, this is going to be a good one, although it's pretty late. Edmonton versus Vegas.
Oh, yes.
3 Canadian teams left.
I know.
And since none of them are playing each other now, there could still be 3 left after the end of this round. Mm-hmm. What do you think of them apples?
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
You like apples? I
Yeah.
love apples. Yeah. So, anything else you got to say?
No, not really.
Nothing story related?
No.
Why don't you hit the people with our pleading?
Yeah, well, we'll plead you all right.
Damn right.
We'll plead you to give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
You can go to theabsurdpodcast.ca
Mm.
and you can see our stuff there and find us on all the socials.
Mm. And you can certainly listen to us on one of any number of streaming services. You know, Spotify, YouTube, Deezer, Apple Music, or whatever it's called. Is it called Apple Music still?
Sure.
Okay. Speaking of apples.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcast. And please spread the word, guys. You know,
Yes.
We were talking before this how much we really enjoy doing it. We want to see it grow, though. Doesn't everybody want to see their efforts grow?
Yeah.
So please, you know, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a complete stranger on the street, unless they're doing something that looks frightening.
And if it's absurd, let us know.
Please do. And if you live in Goderich and you know these 2 women who sit on their couch facing the wall of their house,
Please ask them.
and if you know why, let us know. We like a mystery, but we like solving a mystery better. You know. So I think that's everything.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that's right. And don't forget, a year anniversary is coming up in a couple of weeks, and we will be putting out a bonus episode.
We will.
What? So, yeah.
What?
We will. So, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. We genuinely appreciate all of you. So, hopefully, we'll see you here again. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and one another, please.
Bye.
Goodbye.
The Absurd Podcast is written, produced, and recorded by Rod and Mel. Music by Audionautics.com.